performance.
Yes, well, it's a great day, obviously, as you said, considering the opposition that we just played, to get the result that we got in the manner that we got. It makes it very, very special, and a lot of things have to go your way, and we played with a lot of good intentions, being very brave, and it paid off.
Obviously, the first goal of the game coming so early in the game from a defensive error, similar to last weekend against Chelsea in a way. It's not a great start when you're in this environment against such a good team.
It's happened all season. We are giving away too many things. Still, we are not aware. We talk, but we are not aware with this. Cannot happen. It happened, but you have to overcome. But you cannot lose the control. It's 95 minutes, so we cannot finish in the way we play. We could have scored 3 more. So the team always has to be stable. It doesn't matter what happened in knockout games. So in the first situation we lose, what do you have to do? It's so difficult.
Obviously, after the result that Liverpool got in a very difficult game yesterday, this felt like a game you absolutely had to win.
Yeah, I think obviously when we're in the situation we are, it's a lot of pressure going into this game, but I think we played a brilliant game, and we know the quality we have. We know we can beat any team, and today we showed that.
I can only imagine how proud you must be of the goal scored by your 2 teenagers today. I mean, just putting players of that age into this environment must be quite a big decision, but are they of such quality that you can't not do it?
Yeah, especially the characters, they play with a lot of personality. They are really brave, they have the courage, they are really intelligent, they understand what we want, especially when the players believe in them, which is the most important player, to have players 17, 18-year-old next to you and you said, I feel okay with them and I feel that we are a better team. That's a big sign, and they earn it.
Pep, obviously a very difficult game to try and digest everything that happened, particularly in the second half to you.
No, the game, only I regret the last 20-25 minutes that we forgot to do what we should do, what we have done during 60, 65, 70 minutes. So, of course, it's a difficult game starting this stadium against that team in the first minutes, and happened many times this season. But after 10, 15 minutes, I think we took the game and we played really good. And we are in the season like after 1-1 and good momentum with a pass to make the transition with Omar and deflection and the third goal. But after that, we then continue to do what you have to do in terms defensively, and a little bit more patient, because when we play in that way, they can run, and of course with 3-1 they are more comfortable. It's more difficult. So I regret the last 50-20 minutes. The rest was a really good game for our side. It's difficult to understand when you see the result, but this is my feeling.
Obviously, the first goal of the game coming so early in the game from a defensive error, similar to last weekend against Chelsea in a way. It's not a great start when you're in this environment against such a good team.
It's happened all season. We are giving away too many things. Still, we are not aware. We talk, but we are not aware with this. Cannot happen. It happened, but we react really well, and we play in personality. We defend so good, and when the ball we were quite threat, but unfortunately after the second, it happened again many times. We had momentum for deflection, and in other situations we concede the goals.
Obviously, it's a big deflection on the second goal, and coming so soon after Erling had equalised, it's a bit of luck for them, and it's a key moment in the game.
Definitely, but you have to overcome. But you cannot lose the control. It's 95 minutes, so we cannot finish in the way we play. We could have scored 3 more. So the team always has to be stable. It doesn't matter what happened in knockout games. So in the first situation we lose, what do you have to do? So
we'll come on to the young players, but they wanted that, didn't they, Arsenal? And they needed that.
They did. I mean, obviously the reverse fixture at the start of the season, there's a lot of fire in their belly today, I felt. And at times you feel like players don't care and they don't connect with the fans, but they absolutely connected today. The performance, I felt, it was incredible. It really was. Maybe flattering, but like I say, it's really important for them to connect with that fans, because it means so much right now. Because the Emirates at times, it's been a bit stale, but I felt like today Arsenal they needed it, 100%.
They were all up for it. Fire and intensity can only get you so far, though.
Well, when it's paired with real intelligent tactical nous, it's very dynamic and difficult to play against. I thought their defensive plan in all aspects was outstanding, and it gave them the platform to go on and make the chances they did and be so clinical. Look, there's different aspects to defending. You have to be brave early in the game, high risk, go and press, make them uncomfortable, go and win the ball back. Did it brilliantly. High line at the back, midfielders ready to pounce. We saw City make a few errors last week, not as confident as we've seen them in recent seasons, of course. A little bit of nerves, and then they jump. Good from Trossard, who was outstanding. In fact, they all were. And Havertz makes the right choice, and they go a goal up. And then, times in the game, you've got to be patient, you've got to be composed. They're happy to sit deep. Two central midfielders, Rice dropping in to help Partey at times. Positional play was great. Not rushing, not diving in, marking your men, going with runners. They're good at that, Arsenal. We've seen that many, many times. The third aspect is hunting in packs, winning the ball back when you have transitions. Did that as well as I've seen them do it all season. Then going back to mix your game up. Odegaard setting the tone, pressing again, nice and high. Look at the energy. And then people follow. I mean, Rice is one of the best in the country at this. That's why he likes him playing a bit further ahead at times. A fantastic tackle, and it should be 2-0. So it wasn't 10 minutes of press and then 10 minutes of sitting back. It was varying their game up. Again, this is the recovery runs I'm talking about after losing the ball. 3 of them, 4 of them. Tremendous energy and communication needed to get that right. Again, this is still in the first half. City trying to get back in the game. You've got the wide men dropping in, helping out. You've got everybody in position, happy to sit in and let them have some possession. Win the ball back. Not only win the ball back, good quality when they played out. Broke out really nicely. Second half, City came out, as we know, started well. Again, there's that shape. But watch Havertz. Here's your centre forward. Look where he is. Look at that desire, that willingness to help his team. And then when he's won it back,
They're off, aren't they?
They're off. Great energy, desire to get forward. Fitness as well. Played a lot of games, these lads, and they just overpowered City in the second half. Partey again, high up the pitch, taking a risk, gets the interception. Yes, City were poor, we know that. They made some bad errors, get a bit of fortune with the deflection there, but when it went to 2-1, I mean, they just completely ran all over City and dominated them. Look at this, late in the game, couple of goals ahead, not content, not happy, spirits are up, and look at Gabriel there.
She's centre-half up there.
Yeah, but you know why it means so much to him after the previous
encounter. And there were a couple of things that you said there about them mixing it up, and it wasn't 10 minutes of one thing here and 10 minutes of another thing there. So that's the in-game intelligence of the players to read each situation.
Yes, and that's really difficult to do because sometimes when you get a lead, it's easy for everyone to drop back and stay in there. Somebody has to be controlling that. I know Odegaard is one of the best at setting the press for them. They missed him terribly when he wasn't there, but that was as complete a performance from Arsenal I think I've seen this season. And if they carry on like that, you know, Liverpool got to be a little bit careful, only a little bit.
OK, I'll come back to that in a minute, if we've got time to do that. Let's deal with the Arsenal kids then. And look, to go back to that game 4 months ago, most people watching will know that Miles Lewis-Skelly at the end of that game was questioned, who are you? There may have been another couple of words in there. He proved who he was today.
He did. I mean, Mikel Arteta, in his interview there, said about bravery and personality. And I've seen, you know, Lewis-Skelly and even Ranieri up very close. But Lewis-Skelly today was just typified the performance of, you know, how to work defensively, attacking the ball, strong, composed, knew when to, you know, make fouls. But his whole attitude just stood out, and he's playing above his age. Here, he's not afraid of Haaland at all. You know, and then he gives him a little look, and that's just the confidence that's weeping through his veins right now. And what I like about this one is he doesn't mind being isolated 1v1. He's happy to do this, and not just that, he can carry the ball. Ball carriers are so important to get you up the field, but knows when to release the ball and get back in position. You know, he's a player that's playing with so much confidence, and that's down to Mikel Arteta. But this one here, when he does lose the ball, you don't just sit there and sulk. He gets on with it, gets back in position, understands danger, Foden on the ball, delays. Odegaard, of course, is always involved in everything, maybe cause a foul, but look, it's the intent that he wants to win the ball. And this is the one I really like, just the composure here. You'd think most defenders would go back to the keeper, but no, he's just brave enough just, again, ball carry. And it's that man again, Haaland, which they've got something going on between them two right now. But this is his goal. This is just the icing on the cake where he started off in these positions, but as a younger player. Well, he's very young now, but look, maybe the keeper could do better, but not just that. His performance deserved a goal today, and I'm pretty sure Haaland knows who he is after the celebration.
I mean, look, we need rivalries and needle, don't we? Do you like? My personal fear is I like what if it creates that rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. It shows a bit of character, and you've got to have character to be playing in the Premier League and Arsenal's first team at that age. I mean, it can wind up the opposition at times. You have to be a little bit careful, but I think gone are the days where you get senior players giving you a reduce the next game when you play against. You're not allowed, are you, anymore?
No, you're not. No, it's not the 1970s or 80s or 90s, to be honest with you. And the other young player as well, and how Arsenal managed him, and he comes on, Ethan Nwaneri, and does what he does.
And you just typified it there and managed him really well, because he's been involved in the first team for a period of time, but he's been taken away. But now he's just playing with that, like Mikel said there, personality and freedom. And, you know, he had a few minutes on the pitch, but a lot of people were quite surprised he didn't start the game as well with the performance he's had up until now. But look, his intent was there straight away, and this is the personality and freedom which Mikel was saying about that. He's not afraid of anything. He wants to affect the game, you know, cause and draws people in here, and look, he's confident, wants the ball out wide. Fantastic ball with Declan Rice. And we're seeing a lot of this now, inverted wingers, and he already knows he's celebrated. It's a great finish, but you know, it's one of those where when you're weeping with so much confidence, everything seems to go in, and he's a player that Arsenal rate very highly.
And you were saying when we were talking about this earlier, you know, you've been around the place. They have, for young players, they have an aura about them. It's not an arrogance, but it's a confidence that they already belong in this first team environment.
Absolutely. I mean, I was with them in pre-season, and just seeing him around the environment, he's already got that presence about him, that not standoff, fearful. You know, in your dressing rooms when you see some players and they've got a presence about him. Already at 17, 18, he had that. And I mean, it comes from the manager and the environment and the players.
To allow them to belong.
Exactly, but without being too cocky or too arrogant about things. So it just shows he's got a very level-headed environment for him to be in, and you can just see the smiles there of him right now at the stadium. It's fantastic to see.
For Manchester City, it's another result, maybe not necessarily a performance at times, but another result that adds to their defensive woes this season.
Well, they've gone out and bought two young, potentially very good centre-halves this window for a reason. They're very aware of their defensive deficiencies. Of course, there's a Rodri absence, which is a huge factor. We know that. But he's obviously not happy with the level of the defending, the ones he's got. Hence the buying of two more. So,
do you think also opponents are being less reverential in how they play against City, and therefore they are going to press them? They are actually going to try and win the ball off.
Inevitably, the belief grows in the opposition when you do your video analysis the week leading up, or you see what's happened, you're watching football. That is certainly a factor. The fear's gone a little bit for teams.
Let's take a look at the league table as we bring it back. Danny was very keen to bring it back to the title race. As he said, it feels like that was the kind of game that Arsenal aren't going to win the title with that kind of game, but it's the kind of game that could have very easily seen a lot of discussion about them being out of the title race.
I mean, it was so important. They had to win. You know, in previous years, Man City, of course, going for the title, they could afford to, you know, get a result, obviously make sure City aren't too far away from them, but they had to win today and actually put a statement performance. I mean, Liverpool are, at this moment in time, playing at some level. You know, I think we're quite distant, me and you right now, away from each other. But look, I think it's going to be closer than you think, but Liverpool, at this moment in time, I just don't see them slipping up. That's why it was really important for Arsenal to play at that level today.
Yeah, I think the thing with Arsenal is they showed in the second half of last season they're capable of going on great runs. And the game in hand Liverpool have got a few weeks ago seemed like a gimme.
Yes.
And it's turned into a little bit more of a...
Which is Everton a week on Wednesday at Goodison, under lights.
They've gone and won 3 on the spin.
With a resurgent team under David Moyes.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a walk in the park.
And that result today just cranks that up a bit.
It does, and of course Arsenal playing like that, they'll feel they can beat anybody. They've got to play Liverpool, and in 2 weeks' time Liverpool have got City. So lots can happen. But Theo's right, Liverpool at the moment are doing this wonderful thing of winning games even when they don't play really well, which is a great habit to have.
Speaking to Tony Adams ahead of this, an absolute legend in the game, he said this is a must-win to keep you in the title fight. What he said, 2 brilliant central defenders, but you have made the difference. 2 assists and then officially the first goal, the part you played in that. Talk us through.
Yeah, I think these big games, you know, this is why This is why Arsenal brought me, you know. I always want to step up in the big games, and I know I can deliver for this club in the big moments. And, you know, today I knew how big it was, and I just had that fire in my stomach. You know, I really wanted to put things right from the start. First game of the season, when we played them, it was 2-2, and we all did, you know, to win today like we did 5-1. It was a real special day, and to get 2 assists and play a part in the first, I was really, really happy with that. So, yeah, hopefully more to come.
A brilliant performance from you, a real vision for Partey from the second, and then I got to look to you setting up Lewis Skelly when he's in that crowded area. Any doubt that he'd get the goal? What a special moment to get your first professional goal, senior goal for the club.
Yeah, look, he was unbelievable again. This boy showing no fear week in, week out, and so the same with Ethan as well. When they both play, whether they start, come off the bench, they're fearless and they go out there and give everything. And, you know, when I played it inside to him and it was on his right, I wasn't thinking the best, but when he scored, I was so happy. So he deserves it, and the sky's the limit for the both of them.
Haaland had asked who he was when they met in his debut at the Etihad. He knows exactly, and that a little cheeky celebration.
Yeah, look, it's just football antics, you know, things happen on the pitch. It's one of them things that he celebrated using, obviously, Haaland's celebration, but I know he has big respect for him, and, you know, our whole team has big respect for Haaland because of what he's done in the Premier League and the goals he scored. He's a top player. But today, obviously, our 2 centre-halves had an amazing game, and for us to win, it was, yeah, I'm so happy.
Simply outstanding. There had been talk about the depth of squad on the bench, and then we've got the likes of Calafiori not even starting, coming off. It really seems that you've got this now to push on. Is this title fight back on? You've always believed, but can you do it now?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to get carried away. We've been in this position before. We knew today we had to win. I actually think we've gone under the radar in terms of the players that we've had available. We've still had an amazing season. If you look at other teams that have had the injuries, they've not been able to quite sustain it, but we've sustained the level. Okay, we've been unlucky in some games, but we have been top throughout, and hopefully now we can kick on and keep pushing, and it's a big end to the season. We need everyone fit and available, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Has he let down Manchester City since he's been there? Ever? No. Has he delivered trophy after trophy, an unprecedented quadruple to that club? Yes. Has he put them on a footing where they've never been, ever, in their lives? Yes. And I just think, listen, I'm not saying it's not the right thing to get rid of. I do believe managers can have a shelf life at certain clubs, and that the time may be right. All I'm saying is, I would be amazed if they're talking about that right now. I would be. But anyway, what do I know?
But how do you think that right now this style of football would get better under Pep Guardiola?
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's a question. That's why.
There's a lot of that. I mean, at the risk of getting shot down, these players, the ones, a lot of them, most of them, they don't become bad players overnight.
No.
They don't. It just
no.
Okay.
It's a process that has led them to become ordinary players.
But Keezy, they've become bad players almost with a flick of a switch. The season has gone from winning the first 8 games in the league to can't get a win at all, just like that. That's the most unusual thing I've seen, the decline of a team as quickly as this one has this season. And it really does. And they are bereft of belief. They are bereft of confidence.
So you think if they suddenly from somewhere found a little bit of form, everything would be okay? What Mikel's arguing, and I'm saying, is that I think that they have been found out. So
maybe
a new way is required.
Yes.
And that might not be for Guardiola to discover.
Agreed.
Could very well be they need change.
Well, I agreed. That could be a case. But do I think that should be the case right now? No, I don't. No, I don't. I mean, I'm not a lover of.
On what
I'm
basis?
not a lover of the way on the basis of what he's done for 7 years.
So you use the word that you haven't yet.
What's that?
Loyalty?
No, it's nothing to do with loyalty.
Come on.
What do you mean to his? I'm not talking about to his players. I'm talking about him.
To him.
No. Oh, come on, Keezy.
Said he should be loyal to him.
Come on. Criticise
loyalty in football.
When was the last title decided? Oh, I remember. 6 months ago, and Manchester City won it easy. Who came into the season favourites? City. Who won the first 8 games? City.
If his team, you say you haven't seen anything like it before, have collapsed like that, there's every chance the coach is burned and has collapsed
yes,
like
I agree with you.
And
they've
that's
got
why
to
the
decide
conversation should be had.
Well, listen,
do we need to make a change?
They maybe be having a conversation. I would be amazed if they go and say, thanks, Pep, your time's up. I would be amazed.
I think he'll read it. I've said all season, when he signed that new deal...
That's different.
I was not convinced he'd be there for the start of next year, and I'm still not.
I mean, look at Klopp. Your ideas, you two, and your thoughts are fine. Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool, and everyone thought, every Liverpool fan's go, oh, Jurgen's gone. What's going to happen to us now? We've had great years with Jurgen. We played, high quality football. Everything was fantastic. And then we've got a Dutch fella in who we don't know if he's any good. And suddenly, you never hear Jurgen's name mentioned at all now. Slot's come in, he's got them playing slightly differently.
So are you agreeing with us?
No, I'm saying it can happen. What I'm saying is it can happen. But that was Klopp's decision to leave. He didn't get thrown out the door. Liverpool wouldn't have sacked Jurgen Klopp if he didn't say, by the way, guys, I'm off at the end of the season. I agree with you. Guardiola looks like me. Not only do his players look shot, he looks shot.
That's why, as an owner, as a CEO, you should have a conversation.
Conversation's
fine.
Want to continue? Do you think they would sack him?
No. You ask the question to the manager. Do you feel like you can handle it?
Do you think he'd walk away? Yeah? Yeah? No?
He's done it. He walked away from Barcelona.
Yeah. That's a different argument if he walks away. That's a totally different argument. I'm just saying I don't think they'll sack him.
So no, I'm fascinated by this. It's the same pattern. So it's the same message. It's almost becoming the definition of madness, doing the same thing week in, week out and expecting a different outcome.
Yes,
perhaps. Yeah, no, I'll put it to you. Is change in the manager's office required? Is that where the surgery has to come now?
Look, if you look at De Bruyne, Grealish on the bench, okay, those two are normally the mastermind of the game and they are not being utilized. So there is a transition. You bring in new players. Today you put Marmoush there. He wasn't effective at all. Savinho was blocked by Timber. And players have to find their feet. I mean, it's the rebuilding is not overnight. So I think Pep will need time to do that.
Do you know, it's simple for me. One of two things needs to change. One or two. And it's what Fergie got right and Arsene got right for years and years and years. If you're a top coach and you're going to be there for longevity, for the length of time that you want to be there, you have to keep freshening your group up with the quality that you are replacing, right? And if you don't do that, then you go. So it's one or two things. He either starts to get that. And the thing is, Keezy, players he's replacing have been amazing players, sensational footballers. We've enjoyed watching them for, 7-8 years. But the ones he's bringing in, are they good enough? Savinho, Mamouche, Kuzanov, Nunez, who else did they bring in? Doku that they brought in. You know, are they as good as the ones that they're replacing? The answer's no, in my opinion. So they have to get that right. And if they can't get that right, and it's static and it's stale, then yes, I agree with you, the manager can be there for too long. The same voice to the same players can be there. And if the new ones in don't pick up the mantle and can do what the great players that they're replacing have done, then the manager has to seriously think about why he's there and what he can do to change it. And if he can't, then maybe you do need to change. Maybe the players do need a different voice. Maybe they do need a different way of playing. Because it seems right now that the way he wants this group of players to play is not getting anything out of them. Nothing.